Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Cars and Health Bars. It is great to be back in our normal setup. I want to say a big, huge thanks for everybody that went and checked out our In Real Life miniseries. In today's episode, speaking of, that's what we will be covering during our cars topic. We hit cars pretty hard throughout the whole miniseries, so we wanted to just use our car topic this episode to kind of recap the In Real Life series, kind of get some more attention to it. We poured our heart and soul out the whole entire time, so we want to get you guys to go check it out and do our recap, what our feelings are towards all the episodes. And also, gaming topic, we want to get into some Battlefield 4 versus Battlefield 2042. Let's get right into it. Hey guys, I just want to say sorry for this episode being a little bit late. We had something come up, but a show is better than no show. I think you would agree with that.
Yeah,
I will say it's extremely refreshing to be back in our normal setup. Man, that the miniseries was great, but it was starting to take its toll on me.
for sure. It was kind of draining.
Yes, I will say the editing I was not ready for. I think if next time we do this, I might have to invest in some Sony Vegas or something. It was a little rough trying to get the lips synced up with the video.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I'm not very good with editing, but that sounds hard.
I still enjoyed it nonetheless, for sure. It was really good. I do want to say before we get super deep into it, we do have another project that we will be starting on before too long. You guys won't want to miss it. It's something totally different, something totally out the box. It was just a really, really good idea Jordan had, and it's just like we got to jump on it because I don't see nobody else doing anything like this, and it should be really fun. Also, at the top of the show, I want to say, if you guys hear this in time, we will be at Bowling Green Cars and Coffee, as well as Streetcar Takeover tomorrow. So if you want to come see us, hang out, show a car, do whatever, we will be at those two events tomorrow. And you can definitely expect a video podcast from at least one of those, doing our bracket style or something of the sorts.
Heck yeah.
So, as I said in the intro, I wanted to replace our cars topic this time around with kind of a whole recap of our miniseries. We hit on cars so hard over the whole time. Not really much gaming stuff got talked about. So I just wanted to utilize that time to kind of give our thoughts about each episode and break it down and kind of get some more attention. You know, if you haven't listened to them yet, you might can listen to this, get an idea of which one you want to go check out, so you're not rooting through them, hearing stuff you don't really care too much about. You know, we do care about the listener, believe it or not. We don't just want your clicks, we want you to enjoy the show. So
Our show, yeah.
I guess we could get started with the we'll go in chronological order. So we've got our 4th of July special, our cop stories episode, just me and you.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Man,
I like that.
I don't think I'll ever be able to forget that story of that guy getting all the way away and then his bumper getting left behind and them getting him on that.
That is the worst luck. Like, could you imagine, like, you got 5 stars on GTA and you get away, and then they get you, like...
Yeah, that's terrible. I will never forget that story. I just couldn't believe something that crazy could happen in real life. Like, that just sounds like a story somebody would make up just to, tell their buddies.
Yeah, for sure. That's like your old redneck buddy at the car meets talking about
Dude,
how he outran the cops and it was yada yada, like his basic looks or whatever.
I was shocked to see how much reception we got, like how many stories that we were provided with, man. It just goes to show you every car guy's got their own cop story. Good or bad, we've got one.
Yeah, I'd agree. I definitely got multiple of those.
I mean, that was just a great episode overall. It was a lot of fun going over those random guys' cop stories. That was kind of our first sit down podcast, so if it was a little rough around the edges, but we got her done. I think that was pre tripod. That was pretty rough. So
Yeah,
if you end up watching that episode, just know that that your view was held up by a ball hitch and a kitty litter box.
true Kentucky fashion
Hey,
to do it.
we're rednecks. We got to figure something out. So
Oh,
that,
we'll figure it out. We got duct tape and zip ties.
yeah. So I wonder if we didn't zip tie the camera down. Our lights were zip tied, unironically. So we could move into the cookie episode, which was that was one of the most chill episodes, man.
Yeah, Cookie has some really good stories too.
He's been around, man, for his age. He's got a lot of stories.
Yeah, I'm
I
kind of surprised how much he'd done. I never even knew.
Yeah, he did a lot of running around after high school. Especially after me and him kind of parted ways because I started working in Bowling Green. He was working in Bowling Green, but a different plant. But I don't. He just some of those guys, man, you meet until and die. They're just so crazy outside of work, and I guess he just got a hold of one of those crazy guys and got his own stories.
Yeah, I think there's definitely people like that in every trade. I've worked with a few mechanics who are like, it's like you never meet people like them again. They're like one of a kind. And some of them, and some are bad too in that kind of way. So
Yeah, you kind of got to pick and choose. I did like which I clipped it. One of my favorite parts of that episode was when we were talking about the older guy that works at Independence Muffler, and he just
yeah,
welds while he stares right at it.
he just looks at the bead like that'll do.
It's like, I'm telling you, man, that guy could have a staring contest with the sun. Like, just watch it come up and watch it go down.
So I'm watching him.
I
I
swear.
like the story he had about that third gen.
Yeah, I was shocked that you didn't know about his third gen.
Yeah, I'd never heard about it.
Man, he made, you want to talk about making some money, dude. He made some money with that third gen.
That just sounds like so much fun, honestly, just going to meets and running people.
Yeah, just grudge racing the car like all night. That's like reminds me of like the old Street Outlaws videos whenever or
Yeah.
episodes whenever they'd go fishing. They'd like let them win a couple races and then put about crack that nitrous bottle open and gap them for triple or nothing. I always love those, dude. I need to get back into Street Outlaws. I can't imagine that show is that much different than it was in the beginning, but shows change.
Yeah, I've never really watched much of it.
It was if it was a little bit more realistic, I think I would like it because you can obviously tell like they just add in like Hollywood car sound effects. Like it's so dumb. I hate it.
Dang.
I wish I could just hear that big block screaming and not your like interpretation of what that would have sounded like. There needs to be like a YouTube Street Outlaws. I'd be watching that.
There's similar stuff. There's a bunch of roll racing
Yeah,
channels.
1320. They got
Shootouts.
cash. I like, dude, Cash Days is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We need to well, there is Cash Days Kentucky. They're in Lexington most of the time. I know
I ain't never seen.
it can get those Cash Days, dude. They get pretty wild. You start messing with people's money and stuff, especially like people start complaining about the flagger and all that. That's a bad side of racing, though.
Yeah, you definitely don't see a lot of that around Boone County.
Yeah, there's kind of a viral video going around, especially in my third gen group because it was a third gen car, like a fully built like third gen drag car, parachute and everything. And the flagger pulls the third gen guy's parachute before he goes and flags him, and I think he did it on purpose because I mean you can. It's funny too because even with his parachute out during the whole duration of the race, he still gaps the guy he's racing against. So I almost think he did it to
Dang.
handicap himself, to give that other guy a fair chance. But at the same time, surely that cannot be good on anything going down the drag strip that fast with your parachute deployed. That's got to be terrible on everything.
I mean, it may not be that bad.
I guess
Just
it is
more
just
drag.
yeah on the frame. I mean, if anything, it'd be pulling on the frame, which would just be the whole car getting drug. I don't know, man. I do believe that video was just kind of for clicks. I think he just kind of handicapped himself so that guy would have a chance. Because, like I said, he still beat him with his parachute out the whole rip.
That's like equals out to a lot of weight too. So
Yeah, you might as well be pulling like another small car behind you.
you be getting up to speed, and that chute's like weighing you down.
Yeah.
That's like my little 22 S10 trying to make it over 90. I'm be screaming.
4 cylinder. It's sitting there. It's at like 4K RPM, just tacking out.
Oh no, it takes out like 7.
Oh my god! I'm talking
I've
about
had
like trying to make it down the road at that RPM at that speed. It's
oh
probably
it'll
got
do
decent
it.
gear in it.
It just don't do it very good.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to. Next is the Brian Kimmel episode, which man, that was such good timing. Brian hit us up wanting to come on the show like 2 weeks before we started this, and we were like, "Hey, we have a good idea for how you can
Yeah.
come on." It was really good timing.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorites. Brown's a nice guy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like we said in the episode, he is the most humble car guy there is in our car scene, hands down. Like, he will tell you firsthand that his car ain't nothing, and it's true to him. It ain't true to me. If he handed me the keys to his Corvette car at the time, or even like Summer's car, I'd be like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
But that's just the
No,
way
that's just
Brian
how
is,
he's
man.
been.
He's like,
He definitely likes to let other people experience the car scene, and I like that because, the car scene isn't as big as it used to be back in the 80s, 60s.
yeah, and in a way, we're extremely lucky to have somebody like Brian Kimmel in our car scene because, man, it's you go to all these different car scenes and everybody's
Yeah.
stuck up. Like, God forbid you lean on their car. Like, if you lean on their car, they start freaking out. Like, I could get into a whole tangent about how people are in car scene groups because I mean, Brian is literally the pinnacle of who you want in your car scene. Like, if we had like 10 more Brian Kimmels, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, he's who you should try to be like.
Yeah, super humble. He'll tell you himself his car's a piece of junk. Not only that, but like he said in the episode, he will give you mechanical advice. Granted, it's probably not his favorite thing to do is sit around and answer your questions, but he'll do it. He's like that. He just wants to help other people become enthusiasts and become in the car scene.
That's really how you win in the car scene as a person.
Yeah, like
It's not about having a fast car or nothing.
it's funny you say that too because it's like there's no way you can be like that because if you're sitting here withholding all the information on how to go fast, these small tricks, who are you going to race against, man? You're going to be here running like way faster than all your buddies because you're sitting here holding information, whatever. I get it, parts make a big difference, but if you're running bracket and within the same time and this dude's like hitting that time every single time, it's like, what's the trick? Brian will tell you.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy like that, man. He'll pass down the knowledge. I have a fear too, man, and unless we change a lot whenever we mature farther into our life, but the way it's looking now with as stuck up as people are that are our age, I just see like the next generation of car guys just like having to figure out stuff the hard way because people are so stuck up, man. They're not going to try to help nobody, and it's depressing, man.
And I think there'll be good people out there still.
But it just sucks because
There's
people,
definitely
Brian,
like ways to learn like on YouTube.
yeah, but like people's Brian's age, I mean, I'm sure there's a few strays that are kind of still crappy, but like people like Brian, you have even like Brian Tooley, he'll sit and talk cars about you and help you out.
Yeah.
Same thing with Matt. People their age want to see people in the car scene do good things, and I don't know, man. I'm just getting on a tangent on people our age. I just hate to see people be kind of crappy to each other.
For sure, there's no reason to spread hate.
I just like how Brian too. He's just like he's the junkyard king, man. Like every single one of his cars, he'll tell you they're made out of like they're from junkyard parts, no doubt.
Brian too?
No, Brian
Are you
Kimmel.
talking? Yeah, Brian Kimball.
Yeah, because we
So I don't
consider
know
him the
about Brian
junkyard king.
Toohey being like that.
No, he'd be
Everything
like,
I've seen of his is
he'd be like,
pretty
well,
new.
let me get a set of heads. I'm just gonna go mill them real quick.
Yeah.
Get me a block of steel. But if we move into, talking about the car scene and stuff, we can get into MCR tuning episode where Matt, I had him address kind of the local hate he's been dealing with, over the years being in, Glasgow and that area.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we even mentioned it in the episode. I'm sure context clues could have kind of been, picked up on. But Jordan, of course, is one of the lead technicians there at MCR Tuning.
I guess.
Yeah. But
What they say.
I really enjoyed the Matt episode, and I did enjoy getting into the drama side of things, but man, I just want to say I was enjoying the first half of the episode way more, where we were really
Yeah,
picking Matt's brain about where he started, how it was. I kind of wish.
that's got a really nice story.
I'm regretting about addressing that drama and stuff. I'm sure it got clicks and whatever, but it was a lot more fun to talk about the business side of things and how he tunes. And Matt's just like you
Oh, he
said,
could go way more in depth about how he tunes.
yeah. I really enjoyed that aspect, and I could even go even more deeper on his how he used Hondata and all that. I didn't know he I understood from knowing him that he was in the import scene as far as like driving goes, but I had no idea he was actually tuning imports, like using Hondata and all that.
Yeah, that's where he first started tuning was on his imports.
See, I had no
And
idea about that.
he worked at another shop in Florida. I couldn't tell you the name, but he worked at another shop in Florida for a year or two.
See, I had no idea.
And
I just
he
thought he was
actually
in it.
tuned up in Louisville too before that.
Jeez. I mean, that kind of explains his reputation now that you say all that. He's been around. Matt's name has been being out there for a
Yeah,
minute.
but I mean, everyone knows him as an LS guy because of Ferrari, and that's how he blew up. But
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of import tuning, and he tunes imports still. We tune his buddies' imports. I got a few friends, that have imports. He's looked at their tunes.
I mean, would it be a stretch to say if you see a Corvette driving around at Bowling Green and it's somewhat modified, Matt has definitely probably had his hands on it, at least half of them?
I'll say at one point in time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Matt is just so well known in this community, especially being the vet guy. It's nice to see, man. It's just like it's funny because his credibility for our crowd in Glasgow is like nothing. Like nobody likes him other than our small group. But you talk about him in Bowling Green around these vet guys, they're like, dude, he's who you. And with that vet,
Oh, I mean, even like Louisville, Indy.
yeah, I mean they all know him, and that guy that we did the valve covers for, it's like even him, he had his car done wrong by another shop, takes it to Matt. Matt gets him all straightened out. Like that guy is probably over the moon about what Matt did for him, man.
Maybe.
Okay. But it's just nice to see, especially, I hear from you all the time, cars coming from different shops, getting screwed over, even lied to with that Challenger car that said it had all this stuff done, pistons, and you mic or use your camera, and it's like stock heads, like
Stock piston.
everything, dude. It sucks. Like, I don't know. That'd be a whole thing to get into Matt with, is like how many cars on average come in that have either been screwed over or they've lied to the owner, which I guess is still kind of screwing them over. Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
Dude.
there's definitely a percentage there that's like you. Let me think. I'll probably see. I wouldn't doubt if I see one car a month when we're busy like that.
I could just imagine how livid the customer is too, especially if it's somebody that's kind of on a budget. Like they've done spent all their money trying to get their car
The
modified.
people with money usually, take the L,
Yeah.
which sucks, but I guess, they got room in their pockets for that.
I just like how
Shops are really bad about not taking accountability, and we try not to be like that.
Yeah, that's terrible. It's like no refunds, no returns, and like even if you do ask, like, "Hey man, did you really put pistons in this car?" Because I had a guy scope it and it don't look like they'll probably just tell you to go screw off or something. Like they'll just cut you out. I mean,
I couldn't tell you what they do. I never found out what happened.
that guy should. I mean that at least be. I mean, what are you gonna lose by saying something? I mean, you ain't gonna lose nothing. I mean, they screwed you over. That's what I would do. I'd be like, "Hey yo, what's up with this?" I'm sure it wasn't cheap either, because I need to tear it apart. Take
No, I know how much he spent. He dropped some money.
Some Thowies.
Oh yeah.
Ouch, bro. Oh my
He
god.
spent some money over there, man.
That's sad. People are
I didn't
terrible.
even have to pull. No, I just pulled a coil in one plug, and I was like, "Damn, bro."
That's terrible, dude. I swear. Whenever Matt talked about the people with money, I couldn't believe that Matt said that. I think it's the guy that you caught the plug wire that had been melted into, but homie had like his whole thing like trailered all the way down from, I think, Indy.
Yeah, his dad
Cincinnati.
raced NASCAR, I think.
That's crazy, dude. Like, it's funny the gap because there's like no middle ground between Matt's customers. It seems like it's all the dudes who are like big balling, like, and then the guys who are like, "Hey man, here's my paycheck for this month. Make my car fast."
Yeah, for sure. But you definitely had some, higher profile customers.
I've always just like envisioned that, like, if I hit the lottery, I'm just gonna bring Matt like a briefcase in my car and be like, I don't want to see it till it's fast. Keep the
You just
change.
better hope Matt don't hit the lottery because MCR probably just closed.
Yeah, for sure. I know Matt.
We'll be lost in kitty heaven. We'll be able to pull all day.
I know that Matt. I don't remember what it was, but Matt he was having one of those days, and I texted him, and he's like, "Hey man, if you hear MCR caught on fire, just understand it's an insurance accident." I'm like, okay. I know Matt definitely has his days well, I'm sure, like you said, he'd probably close her all down if he ever hits the lotto. I don't blame him.
It's stressful being a business owner. People don't think about it.
And a tuner at that, like, man, so many people complain about
Tuners
tunes.
get so much bullshit.
Dude, I'm telling you, whenever I recently heard this story about Matt, he was like, yeah, Matt blew up my Camaro, or my buddy's Camaro lifted a head. No, it threw a piston through the head, which I highly do not believe at all. But he said, yeah, the tune was too spicy. It had to been the tune. I'm like, dude, I know Matt personally. Matt has told me, I'm sure, I don't even know in confidence or not, but I'm sure he'll tell you, he does not put spicy tunes in car. If you ask for a spicy tune, that just tells him even more not to give you even a hot tune, because you are going to go be a fool with it. And that's just the God's honest truth. And
maybe
being young too, man, like, Matt knows what you're going to go do. You're going to go blow your car up and talk crap about the business. I don't blame him, man. Like,
it depends. Like he tunes some cars hot.
But I mean, he knows those people that, well, I guess if it's somebody he don't really care about and he's like, hey man, go for it, But from what it seems like, Matt tunes fairly safe. He ain't out here trying to blow up everybody's cars like everybody thinks he is.
No, definitely not. He is pretty conservative with fuel, and he doesn't go. He goes rich. He doesn't go lean. Which is good.
Yeah,
People
I know.
complain about that, but that's the safe option.
My car be like dripping like liquid from the exhaust tips, and I'm like, oh yeah, she rich. Don't worry about that.
Like, he's not too far from stoic. He's just a little on the rich side.
Yeah. But I guess let's change gears all the way, and we'll talk about our Luke Foods interview, man. I love having Luke on.
Yeah, Luke's a nice guy to talk to,
Luke's like, dude, I swear. It's like, we could probably talk to him for like 3 hours. He was ready to just keep talking. He loves being on.
for sure.
And
seems like he didn't want to leave. He is happy.
Yeah, I really like it too, man, because he's like super local to us. He's also like blowing up. Like, it's awesome to see Luke.
Great to see his success for sure.
Yeah, as I'm sure with what he's doing, man, he could probably like cut off like all his friends and like big time him. But Luke ain't like that, man.
Yeah,
he a good dude. He just did his whole Vegas trip, dude. He ate at like super
I've seen a few
restaurants, dude. He was eating at like Gordon Ramsay's kitchen and everything like that. It was crazy, man. I really enjoyed doing a food review on there too. That was so much fun.
That was fun. I wish I would have knew that you were doing the death stare.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm gonna stare a hole through that camera lens. I need to make a clip of that, like zooming in on me looking into the camera.
Yeah, just like zooming into your pupil. So then you start seeing like here in Vietnam.
It's funny too because like nobody's going to know that reference unless they watch Luke also. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You gave me a funny idea. I should just like slowly zoom in and have like the ear ringing of the Vietnam memes and have like Luke talking in the background. That'd be so good.
This pizza, I give a 9.5.
9.5. Dude, that buffalo chicken pizza was busting. Like, God.
It was busting.
I've never had one before, but like that one, there can't be anything much better than that. I refuse to believe.
I definitely have thought about pizza place again.
Yeah, you need to, if Matt likes pizza, dude, y'all should go get it sometime from there. It ain't too terribly far away, I don't think.
It's pretty far.
30 minutes?
Nah. It probably 40 minutes from the shop, 45.
Dang. Yeah, that is a pretty good way.
It a good little ways.
Yeah, it a good little pizza though.
It is, I recommend.
I guess we could wrap up the recap with our last episode with Logan.
Logan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was another kind of last minute episode that we got in right at the end with the summer camp stories. Man, like,
Camp Curry.
I'm telling you, my mom went back and listened to that, and she's like, "Are you serious? Were you going through all that?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, I was trying to get her to remember how much she paid for it, and she couldn't remember. But I think it was like $200 or $300. She just said it was expensive, which it was back during like 2000 and like I don't know 7, 8, something like that. So I mean,
the recession.
yeah. So they had to save up to send me that Iraqi torture camp.
Iraqi.
I'm telling you, dude. Like,
You got bamboo shoots under your toenails.
God. I mean, that one kid, like I said, he got threatened to take his mattress away. Couldn't run. Like, I don't understand.
Running is not allowed. You're not allowed to be a kid anymore.
You tell me
Bottom
how
line.
you tell me how to play kickball without running.
I thought that was the whole point of getting to the base. Is
Nah,
like
you gotta
running
walk.
as fast as you can.
You gotta
Like,
walk,
why
brother.
you just want me to get out?
No, you gotta walk, dude.
Unfair.
I'd be like, kick the ball a little slower. It's going too fast.
They'd be like on a boat and someone falls over. They're like, you're just going to have to catch up.
I'm telling you, I gotta pull clips from that one because even like the paddle boat story was so funny, dude.
Yeah.
How that kid was out there by himself just paddling in circles, dude. That's so depressing.
Homie was alone. Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, just why?
That was
Like, who said that was a good idea? I want to know.
apparently the camp directors who also said we couldn't run.
Why would one of them get in there with them? Like,
I don't know.
something.
I did do some research, and that camp is indeed still open. He might sue us for like defamation or something. Be like, that wasn't no defamation. That actually
Sounds
happened.
like you should sue them.
Yeah, sue them for trauma. I'm afraid to go to
Yeah,
summer camp.
lifelong trauma.
I can't play kickball anymore because I just walk. I'm too afraid to run. I hear the
I'm
screams.
too scared to run. I'll start having flashbacks.
As soon as I hear the ball, I feel the ball roll to me. I immediately think, "Don't run."
You know, it's the sound every kickball makes when it gets kicked. Ding.
Yeah.
You know, I can just picture it.
Whenever I think of the sound of a kickball, I hear it hitting a wall at full force. That's all I
Yeah,
remember.
for sure.
Can you imagine getting like hit with one of those balls, dude? You'd probably die. Go through like
balls?
this. Huh?
What balls did y'all play dodgeball with?
Oh, those like, dude. I remember early elementary school they were foam, but like
Yeah.
I think seventh grade or the end of elementary school, they got these brand new ones and they were like super, like it was like a hard plastic leather. Dude, you got hit with one of
Damn.
those, it left like whelps. There was this one
See,
kid, dude. I swear he had to have like got held back 8 times because I swear he hit me and I felt like I got hit with a semi truck. I was always the catcher. I wasn't good at throwing, but I could catch a ball, dude. I was always like resupplying my teammates. Be like, I'd catch like 5 and then I'd be like, all right, reload.
I remember it's junior year of high school, maybe senior. Me and Brady had gym. We had dodgeball. And this other kid who was like ninth grade, he's a freshman, kept trying to fuck with us in basketball and he got mad. So Brady like fucked with him in basketball, so he started to like not like this kid. And me and Brady were on the same team and this kid was on the other team. And Brady threw the dodgeball as hard as he could and it hit this kid square in the face and knocked his glasses off. It was hilarious.
Dude,
He got nailed. I won't forget it.
Dude, at my school, if you hit them in the face, regardless accident or not, you got rode up and didn't play dodgeball for like a week. It was terrible. They were like super serious
I
about
don't think
that.
it was just like not encouraged, you know.
Yeah. I just
I
imagine
was
like
definitely pretty good at dodgeball. I loved it.
that'd be funny if like back in our parents' day, if you hit somebody in the face, they thought of it like an eye for an eye, then you get like a free face shot on them. That'd be
Yeah, you
terrible.
gotta sit still with your face like.
That's terrible.
All right, Billy, stand up.
Yeah, it's your turn to get hit in the face. If you can serve it, you can take it.
That's right.
All right, let's throw it to a quick ad and then we'll be right back with our gaming topic. Welcome back. So this is a hot topic for you. What we was gonna do some
Yeah,
Battlefield 2042 versus Battlefield 4.
I really, really wish I could give 2042 a better chance, though.
So you recently revisited 2042, just to come to the surprise that it is still not optimized.
No, absolutely not. Invisible enemies forever to load, which I will say my game is not on a SSD. It's not recommended that it has to be one on the game requirements. I meet the system requirements by a good margin.
Are
So
are you
it's
suffering with?
definitely optimization.
Are you suffering from desync too?
I couldn't really tell. It was really laggy, but it wasn't like desync. It was actual like latency issues and frame rate.
Oh, okay. So system issues.
Yeah, for sure. It was I don't know if I was bottlenecking my CPU or GPU. I didn't check, but either way, it did not run good.
I
Which
mean,
I know this game is really hard on the CPU, very CPU intensive, so probably there.
to the people that will say that you just need to adjust your settings, like graphic settings, what do you have to say for that?
They're at the lowest possible. I tried a bunch of settings. I tried DSS, NVIDIA Reflex, all that. I've tried all the different settings there. I looked up recommended settings from people.
Dang, I'm just trying to cover the bases. I'm sure it's the first thing people are going to say is turn down your graphics,
Yeah,
turn down
I
this.
just can't run it on my setup is the main problem.
Yeah. Well, I was going to just kind of fill you in on some stuff that I wanted to hit on, and you can kind of just give me your opinion. Uh, First thing I wanted to hit on is what do you think about 2042 skill-based matchmaking versus Battlefield 4 open lobby servers, which of course, there's no way there could be skill-based matchmaking because it's open lobby servers.
Yeah, from what little 2042 I've played, it doesn't seem really bad.
I can tell you I did some research. The skill-based matchmaking on 2042 is mild. It definitely doesn't feel as strong as 2019 or Cold War.
I'm fine with a little bit.
Uh, what kind of helps it out a lot is there's bots in the lobby, so they can kind of control how those bots are doing, while the game's playing. So it makes it seem somewhat more casual.
Yeah.
Uh, it does seem kind of crazy that they're able to control skill based matchmaking such a big player base, but that's where I think it feels a lot more mild is because there's so many players, so much
Yeah,
diversity.
the 128 players.
Yeah, so I do appreciate that because of course strict skill based matchmaking we've seen in Call of Duty, it absolutely punishes you for having a good match, but I have heard of it happening in 2042. Probably not as regular as it would in Call of Duty, but it
I
has
bet I would
happened.
be in lobbies like that.
Yeah, where you just get punished after having a few good games.
I wouldn't doubt it. If I could play the little bird like I would be able to with a good setup, I would probably get into pretty like I'd have a high KD if I played vehicles a lot in that game.
Would you be okay? Well, of course, being Call of Duty players, we of course just are pulling our hair out, wishing they would get rid of skill-based matchmaking. But with how Battlefield 2042 is handling it, would you feel the same way about 2042, or would you almost be like, "Hey, it's okay because you guys are doing a good job with it"?
It's fun so far. I definitely am not. I don't think Battlefield is meant to be as competitive. It's definitely a more casual type game. It's definitely got good players.
Yeah, I think you run into, like, for example, me and you running in a heli, we're going to run into the enemy heli, and then it kind of does become a skill thing
It
because,
definitely does.
it's you on them, unless there's some guy with a stinger kind of hanging out in the background.
The
But
vehicle gameplay is definitely a lot more competitive, and I think on Battlefield 4 the reason that is because it's such an old game. A lot of the players are very aware of how the game works and the best ways, the best attachments on the vehicle.
yeah, with you saying it is a lot more skill based whenever you're in vehicles. I couldn't agree more. Especially being like an AA player, it gets really really hard to like hit stealth jets coming in, attack jets. As an AA, it is really hard to hit those.
Stealth jets are that's the one thing about Battlefield 4 it's not balanced is the jets.
Like if I'm sitting
the
in the back, and if I'm sitting in the back of my spawn with like the AA, it is like, I mean, if the team doesn't spot that jet, I mean, he could just mess me up being in the back of spawn with the AA.
Yeah, for sure. I think being in a attack jet is so fun, so rewarding, but man, if you get a stealth jet, there's nothing you can do against it. And a lot of times you get caught out on your own because a lot of people use vehicles just for transport,
Yeah,
like the jets.
I was gonna say like if you're playing attack jet, you almost have to have a really good squad mate or teammate in the stealth to back you up. And
Yeah, I would agree entirely.
somebody like you who's like unstoppable in an air vehicle, it's almost like you're dependent on another good fighter jet to be in the air with you, so you can kind of do your own
Yeah, I
thing.
definitely am in a attack jet. I rely on the stealth jet. I wouldn't say I could do it without one.
Yeah, because I mean, your main target as attack jet is to kill stuff on the ground. So if you got
Ground units, yeah, absolutely.
if you got something messing with you in the sky, that's not your target. That's not what you're set up for. Like you're just gonna get bodied every time. Not to include AAs and everything else getting on you. And if they got a decent enemy team, you're getting spotted as soon as you head that way for the turnaround in the
Yeah,
enemy
for sure.
base. I don't
And if
think.
there's an AA like that spawns on a objective in the map, that is the worst thing to deal with.
Yeah, and as an AA dude, it's hard. It's hard to hold down that mid being in an AA. You got people like trying to take you out. You're just like a target if you're in the AA in the center of the map.
That's why they always move to their spawn.
Yeah,
Well, there's usually typical places they move if you know the map's good enough, which most people do on Battlefield 4. I can take down an AA if I can get behind them without them looking. It's really hard, but I can do it.
dude, AAs have it worse off than any vehicle as far as getting targeted, and it sucks.
See, I don't know, because AA's whole job is to target air vehicles, and it is so good at that.
Yeah, I just can't recount how many times I've just like gotten shot down in the attack choppy, like being your gunner. And it's like
Yeah.
we gotta take care of this AA. Load up the buggy with some C4.
Yeah,
It's
load the buggy
personal.
up.
It
Get
is
ready.
personal, sir.
Yeah, I wish I could see more of that on the new Battlefield. I definitely don't think the AA is as strong from what I've seen. It still seems pretty powerful, but it seems like you got a better chance of getting away now, which I like because before it was very hard to get away from.
Yeah, well,
Especially with the passive radar or the ones that you can just shoot and not pay attention to. They track on their own and
yeah, that's
you don't
one.
got to lock on. You just shoot them. Like that's OP.
I've noticed, which I don't. I've played 2042 in ages, but I go off my coworker. He plays the game constantly. But apparently they're starting to implement like Call of Duty perks with their specialists. Like he was telling me how the sniper has kind of like a Sixth Sense style perk where whenever someone's coming close to you, your radar will flash. So it's kind of weird to see Battlefield pull aspects from Call of Duty. I'm not sure that I like it so much.
Yeah, I've never been big on the way they took the game in that sense with the ground play. I really like the setup they had on Battlefield 5, 1, 4, 3,
It just seems like 2042 can't get it right because they have specialists, then they remove them, they have maps, and then they change the whole map design. It's like they just can't get it right. They do one step forward, and then they have to do like two steps back to get it like where people will enjoy it. I think
And I think the reason that is because it seems like they have rushed this game.
it's like they're at a losing battle with the community because they'll do something and then it'll be horrible, and at least they do listen to feedback. I can respect that, but it's like, my God, they can't get it right the first time ever. It don't seem like.
That's kind of been Battlefield's thing too, though, if you think about it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say Battlefield 1 had a bad launch or Battlefield 5, but Battlefield 4, I don't know for sure on Battlefield 3. But a lot of the older Battlefields had bad launches, I know.
I don't know, man. It just might be me speaking too early, but I just don't see 2042 having the replayability as Battlefield 4. Because I mean, me and you can just jump on 4 to this day and like have a time of our lives.
Full server.
Yeah, that too. Like, there's just like there's so much people playing that game, and it just speaks for itself. Like, that game is so well regarded that people are still playing it to this day. No telling how old Battlefield 4 is now.
People probably still buy it. I mean, it's a great game.
It is, and
Graphics are honestly not even that bad for how, like, 2013. So, I mean, that's a 10-year-old game,
yeah, that just goes to show how well of a game it turned out to be. We're here, almost 10 years later, still playing the same game. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, I've been playing it. God, since it's on the 360, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the 360 and the
Yeah, I
one.
think I played it on the 360 originally.
I did too. Like, that game's awesome,
I
man.
played so much.
So I wanted to hit on gun balance. Do you think that, which you can't really attest much to the guns on 2042, but like,
Well, I can a little bit, at least from the start of the game.
yeah, because I mean, gun balance was a big issue in Battlefield 4. I think the Sega is still like the
The
plague
USAS
of
12.
Locker to this day. Like, people still rocking that Sega, just like the broccoli on Call of Duty.
Uh, all the shotguns are really good at close on Battlefield 4, but I wouldn't say they're broken.
Yeah. I think Battlefield 2042 is going through that stage where they release a gun and it's OP and they got to dial it back. It's kind of like what Call of Duty does. They release it, it gets overused, they nerf it, and then it's not even worth using no more.
Well, I just know when 2042 started, the weapon balancing was ass, especially the shots and the accuracy on assault rifles. SMGs actually outperformed them at range. It was stupid, man. I know I'd be aiming right on them, and my bullets were just not hitting.
Yeah, I think that was a big complaint with a lot of people is like hit registry. Like, it's terrible. But I think that is one of the things that they fixed pretty early on, but still, like, it just blows my mind how that issue got through the cracks of all this testing.
Yeah,
Like,
that is like anyone should notice that while playing the game. It's like they didn't demo the game first. It's whoever checking this game out before it released, and let me take that position.
I think it just goes to show that you just get punished now for pre-ordering. Like, used to, pre-ordering was like a big deal.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm done.
you got in-game content, you got like bragging rights, but now it's like you pre-order, you got to go through those growth stages.
You do. It's honestly a shame.
Like,
You should not release a game in that kind of state.
it just puts a bad taste in game, like, the gamer's mouth, because it's like there's some people that won't
You
revisit
see that with
it.
so many games, it just really ruins like some people's like whole. Yeah, you spend $60 on a game. That's a lot of money, really.
Yeah.
You know.
You look at a game like, an indie game, for example, like 7 Days. They're still in alpha, and that game's extremely put together. Same thing with Ark. It was in early access forever, and it was still super polished, super well done. It was probably overstayed its welcome in pre-access, obviously.
Yeah.
But even like I jumped on Ark super quick. Like, I jumped on Ark early in development, and even then, man, it was like I'm like, I don't see any issues, like, other than content. Of course they added dinos later on, but this, like, for a game to come out so broken, it just blows my mind, dude.
Yeah, and then you see like little indie games like Deep Rock Galactic or whatever, and they run so flawlessly. It's just like, man, these AAA studios are just allowed to get away with whatever they want because they've been in the top position so long.
Yeah.
If they had consequences for actually putting out bad content, we would see such a change. But they don't. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And like you said, they're charging top dollar for their game. You got a game like Deep Rock, it's like $15, and even on the
Yeah.
Game Pass at that.
And BattleBit Remastered, I mean, that plays better than 2042, and honestly, it's probably more fun than it.
I kind of wanted my coworker to call in, but it was so last minute I just decided not to. He will die on the hill of 2042 is like, it's amazing now. Like, it plays
It
flawlessly.
looks like a fun game. Like, when I see gameplay, it looks so fun. I really enjoyed the beta, man.
Yeah, I did too. And the beta, like, it seemed like the beta was 10 times more polished than what they released, day one.
I don't know if it's because there was less stuff to download and it's just easier on me to run. I don't know what it is, but it ran better. It didn't run good, but I could get 60 FPS on medium settings.
So, do you think that Battlefield is trying to take more notes from Call of Duty, or do you think they're just trying to do their own, like, fully owned thing here?
I would hope they're not taking notes from Call of Duty because that's never really been their competitor.
I'm not a big fan of them doing the whole, like, Battle Pass supply drop crap, but,
They've been doing that, though, with Battlefield 5.
Nowadays, it's
And
just
one.
like every game has it. It's hard to not want it, you know.
It's a money grab.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing they're looking at is numbers, sales, you know.
They kind of trick the consumer by saying, yeah, but all the DLC maps are free, but at the same time, give us your
But
money
you
for
get
tiers.
the shittiest battle pass. Yeah, it's literally every tier is dog shit on half of them. Like, oh, here's a skin that looks like ass and you won't use.
Yeah. And it's like a month later they're gonna give you another skin for the same thing, and it's like, what am I gonna do with the other skin I paid money for? Oh, you're not gonna use it because there's a cooler one out now. Like it's the hugest money grab in gaming history is this whole like supply drop and tier system, and it's not going away. It's here to stay, man. It ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
I'd say we got. Oh, excuse me. I'd say we got probably 3 to 5 more years of seeing battle passes. I wouldn't even doubt that.
Oh, for sure, no doubt. I would almost say it's here to stay. Kind of like
I'm already done with them. You know, like
yeah.
I'd rather just see good content put out every few months of the game's life.
Okay, here's where I stand with it. I'm not 100% against it. I think it's a good system because for people like you who, like, especially with the older Call of Duties where you become so attached that, like, you literally run out of stuff to do, you have all the masteries, it gives you something to do, you know, those challenges, those tiers. But the aspect that I don't like is that you can pay money to skip tiers and you have to pay money to get the premium stuff. I hate that.
Yeah, it's especially with half of the content being on it being just pointless content, really, like weapon charms and over the top like camos and tracers. Like I have never been about it. So
I will say the thing that I do like about the premium side of the battle pass is after you've bought it once, if you get all the way through the battle pass, or at least a good majority, you will accrue enough in-game currency to buy it again without having to spend your own money. So if you really dedicate, you only really have to pay money for it once, but you shouldn't have to pay money for it, period. There should be some way to earn that in-game currency so you do not have to waste your money. You know, it just sucks.
My favorite games growing up were games where, like Bad Company 2, they had DLC that you had to buy for maps and like a Vietnam playlist. So, I mean, completely different game at that point. It literally was a completely different game.
At that, too, you know, speaking on how good the DLC content was back in the day, dude, look at, like, Battlefield 4. You got the guns. You got the Deagle as part of a DLC pack.
Yeah.
All these different guns. You got so much cool stuff for a DLC.
Yeah, good content.
Yeah.
New vehicles.
I don't know, man. I would honestly rather them go back to the style of buying the DLC packs and in trade-off give us the premium stuff for free. Like that's the trade-off. You buy the DLC and you don't have to worry about paying money for a battle pass.
Or you buy Battlefield Premium so you get the DLC for free.
Dude, that was Battlefield's best move ever. It's like you buy premium and you get everything, and it's like the season pass. Like, basically.
It is. It's so good. It's like Call of Duty Season Pass. It's like if you're dedicated to that game, you'll save money in the long run with that if you were going to buy all the DLC anyways.
Yeah. I do like that about... what I do like about Battlefield is, and what Call of Duty didn't have, is the whole XP boost. Well, Call of Duty had it, but later on. Battlefield...
Man, I love that about it.
That was so good. There's nothing better than open up a supply drop and getting like 200 XP
200,
boost. Yeah. Like,
throw that baby on.
I'm grinding tonight.
Yes, sir. Let's get this hour. Let's roll through it.
So I do wish you could have a better consensus on 2042 because...
I think we can maybe do a follow-up episode when I get my new PC built.
Yeah. I'm not going to dog 2042. I've played it solo a few times, which, you know, typically I play stuff with Jordan, and him not having 2042, you know, I didn't really hit it really hard. But I think I have roughly like 60 hours in it, so I've done some time. That game is a lot of fun, especially the whole switching out attachments mid-game. That's a game changer, like, for sure. Big time. But...
changing classes in the middle of a game is something Call of Duty needed to do for so long.
Yeah. I will say... I still really dislike 2042's maps. I really do. There's way too much open fields, and I get it. You're not supposed to be running through those. You're supposed to be traversing in vehicles, but more times than not, you will have to roll out as infantry through those open fields to get to the next objective, and that's whenever you get picked off. There's nothing worse than being like 9-10 kills deep on a kill streak just for some kid to be hiding up on an antenna and pick you off. Like, there's nothing...
I mean, that's always been Battlefield, though, hasn't it? Always the snipers.
Don't
Half of
talk
them
to me
can't hit
about
their shots.
don't talk to me about Snipe Zone.
Hmm.
There,
God, yeah, that is the worst map.
I guess I shouldn't really be talking too much crap because one of my favorite Battlefield 4 maps is literally an open field, Guillemon Railway.
Yeah,
But
I don't mind the open maps. I think vehicle balance has a lot to do with it, and I think 2042 seems like it has less balance in the vehicles. The Little Bird seems like it should be way more powerful, and the cannons always seem so bad on it to me.
yeah, I will say, unless it has been updated since we've played, man, it was pathetic. It was like we were shooting jelly beans at stuff, and not only that, but as we were attacking stuff with our terrible cannons, all we were doing was revealing ourselves. It was like a lose lose.
The one thing I did like about uh flying in Battlefield 2042 more is stingers. You can dodge them now if you see them coming. You can dodge them without flares. Man, I needed that so bad, dude. You don't got to pop your flares.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I remember playing. I'd have like 4 people locking onto me, and I'd dodge all of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, being the repair guy, I was sitting there hearing all the beeps. I'm like, it's a constant beep until until we die.
That's pretty much how it is being in the heli with me. We in deep.
I just wonder how the dogfighting is on 2042 because it's
Yeah, I'm so interested in jets because that is my favorite thing in 4.
I will say it's like with 2042 they introduced of course the VTOL, the gigantic airship, but it seems like such a vital thing for like using infantry and dogfighting, but like every time I would see a VTOL in the air it was literally just being used as a taxi. Like
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
really all
Warzone.
people use it for.
It's like all they use. I mean, it's nice because I mean you could pretty much parachute wherever you wanted to, especially if you had the wingsuit, which I never used.
It's like the transport chopper on Battlefield 4.
Pretty
That
much.
thing eats.
But it just seems like the VTOL would be such like a tank in the sky, but it never seems to be getting used that way. And I guess it is a good transparency with the transport helis because it goes the same way, dude. I swear, I just have fond memories of Zamond 111 or whatever. The
Zavod
yeah,
311.
I've got like Vietnam flashbacks of like we'd have a whole choppy full of people. There'd be 2 different
Yeah.
people on the guns, and then the 2 guys repairing. Dude, we would go in deep with that thing. Our transport heli, dude, it was doing better than the Little Bird because we had a good
That's
pilot
a
and a good
swaggin'
team.
wagon.
That is, dude. If you got a good squad, a good team up in there, y'all got it. Unless somebody's got a good RPG.
A good attack choppy and scout could definitely deal with it.
Yeah. It just kind of sucks to see the VTOL getting kind of slept on there. I will
Dude,
say
the
that
VTOL looks fun.
the VTOL is like, dude, it's such a target because if you hit it and it's full of people, you're getting like a 6-man.
Yeah.
That's always what I would
There's-
do. I'd see enemy VTOL and I'd be like, I don't care what happens, I'm taking that thing down.
For sure. I remember targeting it when I played 2042.
It's like you were always gonna.
They were forced to be reckoned with too, man, though. They're definitely better than the transport chopper.
Yeah, they could take some hits. They really were a tank. They were slow, but they were a tank.
Take a few RPGs. It's like, damn.
There are a
Ain't
few,
doing that on Battlefield 4.
Oh no, there ain't no way. And
You can take one RPG if you're lucky with where it hits. That's it.
It's funny too because thinking back to the Battlefield 2042 maps I've played in the sky, it seems like there's like hardly no cover. But you look at a game like Battlefield 4 and they really cater to the dogfights because there's so much air cover. You have Siege of Shanghai, you got all those buildings plus the big one. Zamond, which I was just talking about, there's 2 big buildings that you can really, utilize to your advantage.
Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, it's just like
Rogue transmission.
every map caters to that aerial cover, but like 2042 I just think like there's an ice map. I mean, you got some icebergs, but it's like I don't.
That one's pretty open in there too, to be honest.
Yeah, especially over like the lake, there ain't nothing for you to hide behind. And the map with the big boat in the center, that's your only
Yeah.
cover is that big boat, and like it's just so easy to get
I
around.
remember playing heli on that map. Man, I kept getting stingered.
I think the community in general really dislikes that map. Like I think they even like revamped it, but there's still a pretty good dislike for that map. It's
I wouldn't doubt it. I played it a few times and I was not a fan.
it's like if your team holds that whole boat, like you're just screwed trying to run it. It's like D-Day trying to get inside the boat.
Yeah, I think maybe we shouldn't let the trailers fool us so much. They look nice, but
Oh man, whenever
Maybe
I
we
saw
should wait
that,
for that gameplay more.
when I saw that C4 Jeep like crashing into that heli to blow up, that was like the most
Yeah.
epic thing in a trailer I think I've ever seen.
That is Battlefield.
If they would have also included like somebody doing the whole thing where you could launch a Jeep into the air, that would have been
Oh
peak.
yeah, that is my favorite thing on Battlefield.
Mine too.
I think is just boats flying in the air.
Oh my god, yeah. Like if your team's getting dominated and there's nothing you could do, I mean that's just the best thing, goofing off on that game.
For sure, there's like you don't even gotta play the objective to have fun on Battlefield 4.
No, like and it might be possible in 2042. If it is, I haven't tried it, but man, that was a lot of fun. One thing I don't know that I like so much is being able to spawn in vehicles on you, because a lot of people just spawn them in on buildings, and it's like, what in the world? Like, why is this possible?
Yeah, it seems fun, but then the fact that I remember on the beta you spawn in the AA on the building, I always
Oh my god.
yeah,
That is
God,
cursed.
that was OP.
Like, he could see everything. Like, you could shoot him
The
out of
helis
spawn.
would always try to come get me because I kept beating them in dogfights, and now you got me and AA on them. It's like there's no way they're winning.
It's like tower defense having an AA up there.
Yeah, VTOL's getting shot down. I mean, everything just died.
Yeah, I'm excited to give 2042 a fair chance whenever you get your build. I don't think it's a lost cause necessarily, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much as Battlefield 4, dude. It's just, you can't. It's going to be hard.
Honestly, I'm
to top.
excited to just play something as basic as Minecraft on a new build or
Oh my
Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Definitely want to see a Battlefield 4 because I plan on running 1440p, so I would like to see Battlefield 4, and I could probably run 4K on Battlefield 4.
That would be very nice. Yeah. Battlefield 4 just looks so good, man. It's so
It
realistic
does.
for its
That
time.
campaign mission where you're on the aircraft carrier and you go up in the jet, I would like to play that in 4K.
I've never played Battlefield 4's campaign, actually.
Man, it's really good. You should play it.
Yeah. But with that being said, guys, I guess we'll close this one out, throw it to an outro. Jordan, you got anything
Stay
for
classy, folks.
me? Oh, stay classy. We'll see y'all later. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to have notifications on for next week's podcast. You're not going to want to miss it. With all these car events going on, you know we're going to have that bracket or that showcase of some sort. Be looking out for your car. If you were there at the event, you're not going to want to miss it. We have an awesome format where we bracket cars against each other within the event. It's really awesome. We love doing those episodes. With that being said, guys, we will catch you in the next one.